Yes, people, welcome back to Barber Banter. It's Uncle P here. Before we start, remember, smash that like button, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Very important. Anyway, this week's topic is about the N-word. Do you use the N-word? What do you think about the N-word? Do you think rappers are killing the minds of our people with this word? Do you think using this word empowers us as people and take away the negativity of the word? Do you think you're subliminally thinking that you're still a slave by using this word? Me personally, I think it should be trashed. I think it should be thrown in the bin. I think it should be blasted out of this universe. I think it should be gone. What do you think? Well, it doesn't matter what I think, does it? Let's take this to the barber shop.
Because when I use it, I'm using it to another black person who's probably using it with me as well, and there's a sense of identity. Like, you get me? Like nigga, like, and there's obviously loads of context with it, and it's a colloquialism, and it becomes like. But as soon as someone else uses it, depending on who's using it, the connotation becomes more negative, innit? Like, don't get me wrong, people can be like offensive. I'm not even using the R word. People can be offensive without using that word. But you just tend to find that when people are using that word, or used to use that word, it was mad offensive. I'm noticing now there's a trend, it's changing.
I think it's gone past black people stop using the N-word. I feel like we could probably get to a point where we don't need to use it as much anymore. Like, the original purpose of it has been achieved, and of us trying to use it, it's been achieved, and it's no longer the word that people used to use it for.
I think all Nubian people, black people, should stop using the N-word. I think there's no way of strengthening the N-word. There's no way of turning the N-word around. There's no way of dealing with the N-word. Just get rid of it.
But I mean, if we're going to continue to use it, I feel like as much as we do, I feel like, as with everything else, kind of need to respect the heritage of the word and where it comes from, and respect the fact that a lot of people are still feeling really strong about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
What's the fight between 5 white guys in the garage, innit? Yeah, big white guys in the garage, and they were all calling each other, like knocking the hell out of each other, and all calling each other nigger.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's because black sells, isn't it?
No, I'm not disputing that they picked up on a trend. I'm just saying that there was no black people in the room at that time.
No, black sells, because them same white guys that's gonna.
I'm not disputing it, but I'm just saying it's people are using the word a lot.
The same white guys that's gonna burn crosses on your lawn is gonna go and listen to 50 Cent.
No, I can't really hear that. I can't really hear that because I know that white supremacists, yeah, the ones that burn crosses on your lawns, they won't even wear certain like brands of clothes because it's associated with black people. So I doubt they're going to be listening to 50 Cent.
I'm talking about behind those.
I can't speak about that. I don't know. I don't know them enough like that.
What I'm trying to say, yeah, is that the Hindus, yeah, had a really ancient symbol called a short sticker. Yeah, they had an ancient symbol called a short sticker, yeah. And
it was a swastika, but that's not. It's not the same. It's not the same as what the Nazis were using.
I'm coming, yeah. But then the Germans got hold of it, yeah, right, and Hitler got hold of it, yeah, and he turned it around, yeah, and he made it into a negative symbol, yeah, made it as a negative symbol. So the Hindus, I think it was 2 years ago, the Hindus said, you know what, yeah, we've tried to turn it back around to the original meaning, but we can't do it. So, because we can't do it, we're going to disown the symbol. Why can't we just disown the N-word? Why do we have to always carry it on?
Because we did what the Nazis did, and we successfully changed something that was one way to something else. Because now, you can argue that all day long, but the fact of the matter is that at one point, if somebody called you a nigger, you couldn't do anything about it. Now, if someone stands in the street and calls you a nigger, everybody, whether they're black, white, Asian or is gonna move to that person, because you just can't. Do you know, if someone actually actively negatively calls you a nigger, I'm not saying that people don't still hold the same don't still have the same insides, they don't still have the same feelings, but you can't actively call someone a nigger in the street anymore.
I think that all black people should start a little test. I think we should start calling each other brother, and we should start calling each other God or King, yeah, and call every other race nigger. And let's see if the government bans that word and see how quick they ban that word. As long as we're using it amongst ourselves, the government don't care. If we start using it on other people, it's going to be an old different kettle of fish.
Nowadays, it's just a word that everyone uses mad loosely.
I mean,
bro, you go to a rave, you hear a song, man, nigga, man, come on, bro.
I think
like even everyone's saying it now, it don't even matter. The term of the word is gone. Like, it's literally gone, bro. Like, no one knows what it means.
I'm not necessarily saying that the power from the word in a negative way is gone, because if a white guy calls you a nigger, you still get angry. So the power from this is not gone.
but it's not necessarily the word.
I think that's a bit of a misunderstanding.
But it's not, but it's not the word.
That's why,
necessarily
yeah,
that's got
that's
you
the
mad.
thing as well.
It's not the word that's got you mad. It's the fact that he's trying to.
That someone said that to me, yeah.
Yeah. You know,
I think it's turned into a word that now, especially in America, that other races it's almost turned into a word. It's like, as long as you're not white, you can say it in America. It's weird. It's weird how it's turned. Because the way that I look at the word, you know, the word was used during slavery and stuff, basically to control black people. Like, just a word that, you know, that you know, they knew pissed them off. So after slavery ended, you know, I know a lot of people black people started to use that word as almost like to try and get that stigma off of it. Just like, you know, like, this doesn't bother me. Like, I can say it too, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you hear a white person say it, it's still like, it still stings. So yeah, but in America it's weird now. Everybody says it. But it definitely shouldn't be like that.
But it's alright for your son to walk in and say, and come into you at the front and say, what's up, my nigga?
but that's a matter of respect. Would your son come in and say, "What's up, cuz? What's up, G"?
Right, would you let, would you even let,
any kind of
I love
dialogue?
my son walk in and say, what's up?
Dialogue apart from yo, how
yeah, but would you let your
You
son
know,
call you by your actual
your
name?
first name?
Might be like, oh, hello,
That's what I'm
Patrick.
saying. You don't have that level of comfortability.
Yeah,
with your son,
yeah.
So that's
No, but
You let him do
that's
that.
your point, because you're teaching you're teaching your son that word. You're teaching your son it's alright to use that word loosely. Millions of people died. That was the last word they
Yeah,
heard.
but who said they're gonna go to their son and say, oh yeah, call me nigga?
The last word they heard.
Can't just tell me that's just a word, yeah? Because my forefathers, the last word that my forefathers heard, yeah, right, whether they were men, women, or children, before they died, the last word they heard was nigger, yeah. So they can't tell me it's just a word. Well, the Germans were calling the Jews before they put them in gas chambers, yeah. You couldn't tell the Jew that's just a word. You couldn't tell him, and you will never catch a Jew use that amongst himself.
I don't know, man. I think maybe you got your own beef with that one still because.
No, not really.
No, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But I'm not gonna stand.
Back in the 70s, 1975, yeah, when you heard that word, yeah, nigga, that meant run.
But now we're in 2018, when you hear that word, what is it?
It's just fashion. It's just fashion. Sales 80 turned into fashion.
I use the word, innit? Like, I use it a lot. I just think the meaning behind the word is gone now, because we're in a different generation, so everyone's using it in terms of music or people saying it in the streets or whatever. Like, I just feel like the use of the word is being like overflowed anyway. So everyone uses that word, and plus the meaning of it is gone.
The thing is, I think it's about now kind of just allowing we can remove the power instantly as people, and I think we're trying to hold on to history, but we don't know why we're holding on to history. So the example I use is like, if someone said to you, how look at your Skoda, you would feel a certain way because you know kind of what the value of a Skoda car. If someone said, look at your Lamborghini, you're going to be like, yeah. And what?
Actually, I've got a Lambo. I lie, trust me.
Because you see the value of it, and I think the fact that black people are still reacting to words like nigger is a reflection of the fact that actually deep down they're probably still struggling to find their own self-value, which is not the fault of a white person. That's about our own journey that I think we have to embark on. For me, it's not a word I use. You know, again, it's the generation I grew up in. I heard a lot of US rap using it. It's not really a word I was encouraged to use, so there's no reason for me to use it. I don't need to address it. However, if someone does use it, I was at a point when I would be triggered. I'm at a place now where I don't really get triggered if someone uses that word, even if they are trying to insult me, for the simple reason, black to me means a lot of richness and good things, a lot of things that a lot of people around me envy in my nature, which I kind of attribute back to the culture I'm from. So when someone uses the N-word, it means nothing to me, it doesn't trigger me. If anything, the only feeling I would get is that I might feel a bit embarrassed because the expectation is as a black person, what are you gonna do about it? But that's nothing to do with how I feel about it, you know, N-word is an N-word, you know.
Coming on what you're saying, by reacting to somebody calling you a nigger, in reality, like, you're the person, you're actually dealing with self-hate.
Yeah, you're affirming the
You
self-hate.
obviously feel that word is associated with something negative or the wrong. But if you don't feel like that, then when someone says it, you're going to do the Lamborghini thing and be like, and what?
Black people who call each other niggers out there, but get upset when a white man calls them nigger. It's a double standard. That's hypocrisy. When a white man calls you nigger, you shouldn't really react, because the white man is really trying to get a reaction out of you by calling you a nigger. You should laugh it off and walk it off. So, and next time he calls you nigger, that word is redundant.
And the thing about it is, and the thing is in history, I think in 100 years time, in 200 years time, I think the power of the word nigger's gonna go.
Completely.
But I wish that in our lifetime we will begin to see black people begin to let go, because I don't think we can be telling other people. So for example, this is an English language, so technically speaking, it's not our native language. We can't tell people what they can use in a language that's not even our language, what they can and what they can't use. And so I think the only way that we have power in this situation is by taking control of our own emotions and actions. If we're dealing with a kid in school that's getting bullied, the first thing you teach a kid is that they have to change how they see themselves, because essentially how they see themselves would have an impact eventually on how other people see them. And I think as black people, we haven't quite got that together yet. We still don't know how we feel.
Okay, that's cool. But what about you know, you're talking about like the word nigger. We're getting the power back into the word nigger, yeah, right? To take the power back, yeah. But what about all the other things that Willie Lynch wrote about? Why are we taking the power back for that? Why are we taking the power back to stick to, why are we taking the power back to sticking together? Why are we taking, it's baby steps, but you're just taking a fashionable word to make it to use it.
Hang on, I need to interject, because you're saying that, but if you're looking in, especially in the thing that's referred to, pop culture, if you're looking in pop culture and society at the moment, we are seeing that. We are seeing black culture starting to stick together. We are seeing the affirmation of black people in business and in society and in media. We're beginning to see that. We're beginning to see films. We're not just talking about Black Panther here as well. We're talking about films like Get Out that are being made by black directors and black producers who are exclusively looking for black casts and making sure that it's young black actors who are coming through. So if you're talking about that kind of thing, it's happening. It's just maybe not happening in the media that you're looking at, or maybe necessarily being exposed to, but it is definitely happening. You know what I'm saying? And it is because of things, I think, because of things like us not seeing it being as necessarily derogatory to being called a nigger or be a nigger. Being a nigger isn't a bad thing now. People are building their careers of not being a coon, being a nigger. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Hart has built a career of nigger.
Being that nigger.
Nigger, yeah.
If you give us shit, we'll turn it into gold. That's what we do, innit? And that's what we did with the word nigger. That word was originally used to make us feel like shit. We turned it round. Now other people want to use the word to make themselves feel good. Other people want to be known as niggers. Other cultures want to be known as a nigger. Not nigger, but a nigger, because it now connotates a cool, affluent, well-to-do, gets pussy type of person. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what we do as black people, you know? So I feel like more people need to celebrate that fact, and the fact that we've taken something that was so negative and now the connotation is something that's so positive and so influential. Everyone wants to be that nigger. Everybody wants to be that nigger. Steph Curry is that nigger. Jay-Z is that nigger. You know what I mean? Barack Obama is that nigger. You know, regardless of what you think of the word or where the word comes from. As we said before, times change.
Okay.
Another thing is, no, it's not. Subliminally, it's not, because you know why? Because you've only been out of slavery for under 70 years. You've only been out of slavery for under 70 years. Within them under 70 years, yeah?
That's like...
Within them under 70 years, 100 years, they were still lynching and killing black people, yeah? Right, they were still lynching them. And that's at least 70 years. Within them 70 years...
Why are you so...
No, hold on, let me show you something, yeah?
20 years ago, I couldn't have dated a white woman, I can now.
That's right. Wait, yeah, that's right. So within them 70 years that's left, yeah? Within the 70 years, 20 years was segregation. That leaves 50 years. Within the 50 years, they were still killing black people. Black man couldn't walk on the street. Hold on, let me finish.
What's the point?
Black man couldn't walk on the street. So what I'm trying to say to you, yeah, I'm saying to you, yeah, is that, you know, we ain't been out of the slave trade for that long. We have to mend ourselves.
170 years.
We have to drop that word. It ain't that long. How's that long? How's that 170 years long? If I was born 5 generations earlier, I could have been a slave.
So
what's
the point? I don't understand.
My point, yeah, right, is that we have to let go of this word nigger. And when you say the word nigger, yeah, you might think that it's empowering, but no, it might be empowering when it comes out your mouth, but subliminally, it keeps you back in bondage.
No, this is empowering. We said we're taking the power.
You take the power away, making it more positive. So them saying, oh, we're using it to take the sting out of the words, it's bullshit. You're just using that word because you're jumping the bandwagon and you want to follow fashion. You understand what I'm saying to you? My father had to fight for that word, yeah? He had to break heads for that word. Why did he do that? So he can make a better life for me, yeah? I had to break heads for that word so I can make a better life for my children, yeah? These kids don't understand that. And I think if I could turn back time now, I wouldn't try and make a better life for them. I'll let them ride the shit. Do you know what I mean? Because all the stuff we went through as people back in the day to help to forward our next generation, they don't care about that. Do you think they care about that? They don't give a damn about that. They don't care, oh, that was then. But if we didn't do what we did back then, your arse would still get you'd be still getting your flipping head kicked in by police, by skinning.
It's not about saying that. It's
just about taking away.
Yeah, so it's no longer relevant.
It's just a word. It becomes a neutral word.
You know, the Jews call each other the names the Germans would call them. They put them in ovens.
Well, what was the names of there was
Sprints or something like that.
Yeah.
But
who's gonna use that?
Who's about Jews? I mean, Jews amongst themselves. They don't call each other. What's up, my sprints? What's up, la di da? Whatever it is.
But how do you know? Hang on, wait.
But how do you know?
Wait. You said you made this point to me before. How do you said this point to me before, and then I sat with a bunch of Asian guys, all from Pakistan, right? And they were sitting there calling each other Paki, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like,
because they jumped in the bandwagon.
Wait.
I remember when that came out.
But wait. Then I went to Switzerland, right? And all the Swiss people, do you know what they call themselves? Swissers. Swissers. That's what.
The reason why white people in America and every race of people in America is using the N-word, yeah, is the same reason why Indians or Pakistanis are calling each other Paki out there. Yo, wagwan Paki, what's up Paki, what's up my Paki? Because they're jumping in the bandwagon of black people, yeah? Because black sells, yeah? Because we call each other nigger, Pakistanis want to say, yeah, let's call ourselves Paki. Do you know what your father went through for that word Paki? Every weekend, he had to fix up his shop because white people coming into his shop, smashed up his shop and spitting in his face, calling him a Paki. But now you want to walk around and call yourself a Paki. What sense does it make? You're jumping in the bandwagons, black sells. Everyone wants to be a nigger because it's fashion.
You need to let go and get with it.
I don't need to.
I don't want to say get with the times.
But Pat, what you gotta say to people, like for example, what people might tell you that, what you gotta say about people that tell you that you wasn't there at the time 170 years ago.
That's
You
mad.
wasn't there. Now
it's past generation. It's past.
What's past?
And everything.
What?
Everything. Even white people. Yeah. Even they. I think
If it's past, we wouldn't be using that word nigger.
If it was past, we'd still be
If it was
saying.
past, we wouldn't be saying the word
If
nigger.
everything was still passed down, you wouldn't own your own
We wouldn't
business.
be saying the word
You
nigger.
wouldn't own your own business. You wouldn't be allowed to have.
Trust me, you wouldn't.
You definitely wouldn't have.
I see where Pat is coming from, because he comes from a time of segregation, a time where there was a lot of division, like race divisions, like people weren't really together like that. To the younger generation, the word nigger means friend or bro or brother, yeah? But to the older generation, it means pain, slavery, yeah, hardship. Now there's more of a community, like, you know, sports unites us. Music unites us. We're united more. We're more united than divided before. Even though there's a lot of racism nowadays, but I don't think the N-word is a problem. Racism is a problem.
Can I say something that's been happening though?
Institutionalized.
What's happening now is, I mean, okay, so I made a point about the fact that, you know, we're letting go of the power and how that works, and I think everyone got that. But we ain't discussing that, and I think what's happening with black people.
You won't let us.
Every time we find something, a way out, what we tend to do as black people as a community is we then find something else to start blaming and start accusing. So it's almost like we don't want to let go, and I think we are our own worst enemies. If you look at every individual change, if we talk about people who, for example, ain't motivated and don't get for a job, we always and they say there's no opportunities. Actually, when we look at people, it's always about it's our own ego, it's our own self demons that we deal with. And I think as black people, we need to be honest with ourselves, and we need to fight our own personal demons of not wanting to let go of something, because it's almost like we're waiting for that one thing to soothe us when actually it doesn't exist. So we're going to still accuse. And in a way, we're doing our research on African history. We're doing our kind of all our studies, and we're intellectualizing all of these baggages. But actually, we just need to just change how we think now.
All the young people out there that don't understand, they don't understand the concept of me saying that they shouldn't use the N-word. It's not that they don't understand; they don't care. That's all it is. They don't care. They jump on a bandwagon. Yeah, it's just, to them it's just fashion.
Kids already know. I mean, they still only teach black history as far as it starts in slavery in school. Kids already know where that word comes from because they won't let us forget it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So dragging them back to the history books and saying, look, that's when we was dogs and I don't see how that's helpful. I don't see how that increases progression. I just see how that fuels that same chip and same hate and rage that he's got. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we should forget about the past. Hell no, we should definitely not forget about the past and our past treatment. But I really do feel like if we're ever going to move past that and become more than what they said we were, then we do need to let certain things go. You know, never forget, but move on. You know what I'm saying?
To me, it's very straightforward.
Okay, what do you think about the word nigger? What do you think about the word nigger? Do you think people should use it?
I think the word is no more. It's not inflammatory anymore. It doesn't have the same power.
Trust me, it is
It's not
not.
It's not that we're disrespecting the history behind it or the people that have died or something during that, but it's like you don't go to Africa and expect there to be apartheid anymore. You know what I'm
I
saying?
still think here there's like a double standard with black people.
Yeah, definitely.
That we call each other niggas here, but when the white man calls us niggas,
You get upset.
you get upset. It's almost like
There is that double standard.
That's what he said, because then like, we're looking for something.
Yeah, but that like it's exactly what he was saying. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because when someone uses it against us, two things I think. When someone uses it against us, we ain't like we said, we kind of we look at it as a derogatory term and we start to feel lonely about ourselves. When there's no need to do that, because like we want to feel like that about ourselves. And secondly, it's also that exclusivity. Like as we read about it, it's nice the fact that we've got something that you wear. You get me? Like, let's be honest about it. It's a nice thing. You can't say that.
Big man.
You can't go there. You can't say that. Do you know what I mean? We can't do that. You can't say that. That's what it is. That's a smart one.
You know what, yeah, I ain't involved. Yeah, one thing I must say, yeah, a lot of my friends, majority, 80% are black, innit? Yeah. And they call me that word.
But you don't use it back.
I don't use it back. You know what, sometimes I might get overly loud.
Then you end up saying it, yeah.
But that's your friend saying it. That's what when I say it, I don't think about the history, and neither do they.
Yeah,
I don't care about
exactly.
it. To us, we're using that term as we're closer than it's not just more than friends, innit? It's more than friends. Like,
We see
like,
past the
brothers.
colour skin.
Yeah, like if my boy's calling me that, I know he's down, innit?
Yeah.
If I call him and say we need to do something, he's down for it.
80% of my friends are black, you know what I mean? And they call me the N-word. Like, obviously me, I'm not white, innit? Like, I might look white, but I ain't white. Like, I don't consider myself as white. Like, I don't look at colour, innit? You know what I'm saying? But the N-word, I won't use it, personally. But if I'm drunk and I'm out with my boys and we're all waved and everything, bruv, if they're calling me, I'm gonna say it back, because it don't have a bad meaning as friends. Like I was saying in the shop, like, it's a term where I use, or my friends use, and it don't mean, like, it means we're closer than just friends. Like, from when a boy calls me that, knowing exactly what the word means, if they feel comfortable saying that word to me, then that's not just saying like, oh, my boy or whatever, like, it's deeper, you know what I'm saying?
What the Serbians called you guys?
They just
What they call you?
Albanian, whatever.
No, what they call? They must be the name.
It's the same thing.
No, they must be the name.
There's no word.
They must be the name. They call you when they
There's no
slave you.
name.
There was no word.
Now, if there was a word, if there was a word, if there was a word,
I know, but it's just don't drop
if there was a word, they called you, yeah?
That's why
If there was a word,
fam.
when they enslaved you for 500 years, yeah? 600 years. When they enslaved you for 600 years, yeah? If there's a word they called you, yeah? Would you be using it amongst yourself now? Do you think you'd be using it amongst yourself now?
Who knows?
No, I'm asking you. Would you think
Like
you'd use it amongst yourself?
if they
You
called on
personally,
me, I probably would, because I'll try to flip it. Like they used that to us to put us down and whatever. But now we've won. We've won. We're not slaves no more. We've won.
The Serbians, when the Serbians, Albanians had the war and that, if they had a word for us, like, we would try flip it, so now it's a positive thing. Like, it's a thing where it's rising us up as people, not putting us down like it used to.
So we call it to flip.
What about you use the word cooling? What you use the word cooling? What about you the word cooling?
To be honest, I don't really get called that, but if I...
Fam, I've never had someone call someone else coolie.
Yeah, you generation.
What, coolie?
Hold on.
Are you coolie?
Yeah, if I was called that, like, I would find it offensive, obviously. They're not the same as me, they're not fully as well, but obviously that's the same as the N-word.
But you know what the word coolie comes from?
Wait, where are you from?
Ghana.
What does that mean? What does it mean?
Cool is not what saying
from India, isn't it?
Yeah,
He looks like a Japanese.
When the Asians got to slavery, when the when the Asians got took into slavery, yeah, alongside Africans, yeah, right in Ghana, yeah, they had babies together, they mixed, and the slave owners called them coolies.
Alright, listen, all I'm saying is, yeah, this whole history thing happened time ago.
Like,
right now, well, how many years?
My dad had to fight for that word, nigga.
But when did he? How many years ago did he fight?
I had to fight for that word, nigga. I'm 48 years old.
How many years ago did you fight for that?
I had to fight for that word, nigga. That's why.
How many years ago did you fight for that?
I'm 48 years old, bro.
But how many years ago did you fight for that?
What, about 25 years?
There you go, done.
25 years, that's not a long
25
time.
years ago.
That's a long time.
It is
The
long
reason why you
This nigga's ancient, he's old. No one's been through his time, yeah? Uncle Pat, I'm sorry, you old, son, you old, yeah? Not exactly everyone's been through your time. Like, not exactly everyone can understand what you're saying. We do get it, but we won't get 100% because we haven't been through it at that time. When he said 25 years ago, people, it was 25 years ago, innit? He said it. I'm 23. I wasn't born yet. I was born 2 years after that. I won't understand fully, but I get it. In school, I've learned it. Like, in school, oh yeah, the white guy said to black guys, slaves. Yeah, I get it. I understand, but I'm in a different time. I'm using it now.
I said it. Yeah. So what do you think about the word, the N-word?
It's just like, it's just another word.
My shit.
There you go. But I mean, I mean, it's not so much that I'm American too. It's the fact that I'm younger. Like the younger generation, it's just another word. For the older generation, it's like it probably means a little bit more. Like because you know y'all went through like the whole racism thing and the civil rights thing in America. I'm 27.
I said the same thing. What do you think?
For the younger people, it's like it doesn't mean as much. It's not as much of like a harsh word. For the younger generation, it's just another word. It's just been turned into just like, you know, like slang. So, but I can see the problem for the older generation, just because, you know, they went through more of the struggle of just racism and civil rights movement and all that stuff. So I can see why people have a problem with it. Me personally, in my house, I wasn't allowed to say it. Like it just like for my family, it just wasn't something that was said or that needed to be said in the house. But at the same time, I mean, when I was outside of the house, I said it. But I knew the meaning of it, I knew the magnitude of it, and I knew how to use it. So it's just, I mean, I think it's just like any other it's just like any other word. If you use it properly and you don't, you know, use it towards anyone with anger or anything, then I mean, I think it's just, you know, just another word. It's just slang.
So the question that I've got is like for yourself in terms of your age, what do you think the older generation? Because I think I hear what you're saying. You want to see that whatever you've been through, you want to see the fruits of what you've been through, whatever that looks like. So in your mind, what are you looking for? What in your mind does that support look like for you?
My thing is this, yeah. If I have paved the way for the next generation, like my ancestors jumped off ships or ran away from the slave trade, yeah, to pave the way for me, yeah. If I pave the way for the next generation, yeah, right, I want to respect that, man. I don't want to.
Yeah, but what does that look like?
What do you mean? What does it look like?
So in terms of actions.
Personally, I don't use the word. It's just a word at the end of the day, and a word doesn't define me.
Things have moved on now. You don't have to call yourself a nigger no more. You've got nothing to prove to anybody. Yeah, eradicate it from our speech so our children, so not my children, because my children are big now, so the next generation after me, their children can stop using that word. Eradicate it, stop being a sheep, stop following and making and justifying why you're using that word, because you've got no reason to be using that word.
If he says that you've taken the power of the word, then why can't other races say it? It still offends, like even if a white person went up to Jay-Z and said nigga, like it would still offend him.
I started to realize that people were just using the word because they wanted something to get me angry about. It could have been any word. It could have been fruit pastel. Do you know what I mean? If they knew that that was the word that was going to trigger a response from me, they would have said fruit pastel. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have an issue with people that want to trigger a reaction from me, not with people that use a word. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm angry. I don't like racists, but using the word nigger doesn't make you a racist. Do you understand what I'm saying? Wanting to insult me with that word makes you a racist.
If you choose to use it in your journey, that's up to you. I'm just not going to use it. I think for me, I think what we all of us as black people, we all have to go on that journey is self-healing. We need to upgrade the way we're thinking as a community and as an individual, but it starts individually first, and then it starts to filter through as a community. I don't think we can force the process in the way that it feels like it's being done. I think it has to be organic. And it starts with yourself as a person, regardless of your colour skin, just as you as a human being that breathes.
If all the rappers and that said to everybody out there, stop using that word, we'll stop using it. Trust me, we'll stop using it. Richard Pryor went to Africa and he goes, you know what, yeah? I always say the N-word, I always say nigger. But when I went to Africa, I didn't see not one nigger there. I saw hard-working people struggling to find money to feed their families. I didn't see one nigger, and he eradicated that word from his jokes. And he built himself on the word nigger. He built his whole flipping act on the word nigger. You know why? Because he was getting paid to say the word nigger. He was getting paid to drum it, to drill it into people's heads. Yeah? Rappers need to pull their heads out their arse and stop chatting bullshit. Biggie said, I remember when I used to eat sardines for dinner. Have you seen the size of that guy? Do you think that guy ever had to live on sardines? No, he wasn't, bruv. You was eating Big Mac and steak, all right? Your mum was feeding you properly. They're always telling lies. Rappers need to pull their head out their arse. We are dying as a people. They couldn't kill us physically, so now they've got to kill us mentally. Yes, Barber family, so that was another topic for this week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week for another Barber Banter.